staying in contact. I'm London Mitchell. This is our weekly visit to discuss activities, issues, and history of our quarter of the world, Northwest Ohio. In this installment, we'll be talking with Ohio State Representative Michele Grimm. She has a couple pieces of legislation pending that would affect our pets. But as our conversation began, I noted her frequent appearances in social media, and it appears Representative Grimm really enjoys her work in the General Assembly.
London, again, thank you for having me. Yes, absolutely. I really love what I do. I love engaging with my constituents. I love being out in the community. I love going down to the State House and working for my constituents and for Ohioans every day to make this state a place where people want to live, work, play. I really do enjoy what I do.
You're serving in your second term
Correct.
with the Ohio House, and that incorporates a section of Lucas County, a piece of Toledo.
Yes. So I have so the western part of Toledo, um up towards the Michigan border, so kind of that Washington local school district area. I have Shoreland, so Library Village, the Alexis Road area, and then I also have Ottawa Hills and Washington Township.
Some pretty populated areas.
Yes.
I think most of us think of the job as legislating, working on bills and
Yes.
debates. Is there more to it? Is there more to your job than just uh, debating legislation?
Absolutely. So a lot of my job is introducing legislation, debating legislation, voting on votes on the floor. But we also do constituent services. We do a lot of constituent services around unemployment benefits, Medicaid. We do some veterans services. We also are very engaged. Well, I'm very engaged with my community. We give out what you would think is a proclamation, but we call them commendations. So it's a celebration of maybe someone won like a state championship or a regional championship. We can give commendations to folks. Or if the new business opened up, we can give a commendation to them. Those are great ways to reach out to the community, to celebrate new businesses, to celebrate constituents. So I do a lot of that in the district. I also send out birthday cards, send out new homeowner letters. I do like to figure out ways to celebrate the constituents here in the 43rd House District. So yeah, it's not just legislation, it's really the constituent services and reaching out to constituents and just making sure that you're engaging with your constituents and celebrating them when they have accomplishments.
And the best way for a constituent to get in touch with you or any of the state house representatives is how?
So my email address is rep43 at ohiohouse.gov. So, and you can kind of follow that formula for other representatives. Mine's the 43rd House District. So if you know that you are represented by the 44th House District, you could be Rep 44 at ohiohouse.gov. So that you could follow that formula, or if you don't know who your representative is, you can go to findmydistrict.ohiosos.gov. You can type in your address and you could find your representative.
And that sounds easy enough. Easy enough.
Yes,
And I would say that that's one of the things that all members of the state legislature would encourage is to have their constituents stay in touch, voice opinions,
absolutely.
reach out. So, t-
Absolutely.
so tell me about the legislation concerning pets. I'm intrigued by that.
Is this the pet fund?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So the Ohio, because I have a couple around pets. So the Ohio Pet Fund is a nonprofit that was established about 22 years ago. Um, if you've ever seen London, have you ever seen the pet-friendly license plates?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
so that's them. That's the Ohio Pet Fund. This is the only way that they're funded, and they fund spay and neuter programs throughout the state. So a lot of our dog wardens, our canine care controls, our humane societies, our rescues get money to help with spay and neuter programs. It's usually for low income individuals. So this piece of legislation, so when you go file your taxes, I think currently there are six organizations where you can donate a portion of your tax dollars to. This would create the companion animal fund. So you would have a seventh option to check off a box saying, I would like to donate a portion of my Ohio tax return to the companion animal fund. So that would do the same thing with the spay and neuter programs. So they would anticipate it would maybe double their grant dollars that they can give out around the state.
And the
And
and and the idea here being that you don't want somebody to not pay attention to spaying and neutering their pets just because they can't afford it.
correct. And also with maybe community cats, the stray cats around. We have a couple in my neighborhood in West Toledo. There's a couple of stray cats running around. If you can trap, neuter, and release those, then the population of cats can stay down. So that kind of thing. So they also fund the trap, neuter, release programs as well. And so that bill passed the House last year. It's currently in the Senate. We just had spot so it's a bipartisan bill with me and Representative Sharon Ray out of Wadsworth. That's in Medina County. And we just had sponsor testimony in the Senate.
Get legislation passed by both houses. There's always some conferencing going on to make sure that both bills gel with one another.
So that happens if there's a change to the bill. So if there is no change to the bill, so if the bill stays the same between the House and the Senate passes it, it'll just go to the governor. So when we do the conference committee is when a bill changes. So any change, it could be a very minor change, it could be a very major change, but any change, yes, it will have to if it passes the Senate, it'll have to come back to the House for concurrence. And if they don't concur, then you do the conference committee.
What kind of time frame are we on?
Now it's at the discretion of the Ways and Means Chair in the Senate. But now we would be waiting on proponent testimony and opponent testimony, maybe some interested parties. But hopefully we can pass this bill in the Senate very quickly. It probably won't be in effect for this tax season, but hopefully next tax season we'll have a checkoff box that says let's donate some money to the Companion Animal Fund, help some spay and neuter programs, and help curb the dog and cat population so we can actually adopt out dogs and cats and not have the make other unfortunate decisions.
Now, you mentioned another piece of legislation concerning pets.
I have a couple of bills. This is with my colleague from Youngstown, Representative Lauren McNally. This is one of them is to repeal the pet store preemption. So, and I think this was about 10 years ago, the legislature decided that they wanted to um, pass a preemption around municipalities banning pet stores. Um, Some pet stores, there's the Petcos and the pet supply companies. They don't sell dogs and cats, but there's other companies that do. So this and Toledo was actually the first municipality that said we're going to ban pet stores from selling dogs and cats. A few years later, another pet store wanted to open up a pet store in Grove City, and that's when that pet store went to the legislature and said, can you pass a bill so municipalities are unable to do this? So they did. So this would repeal that because it really should be up to the local community to have a pet store that sells dogs and cats in the stores. Usually these pet stores sell dogs, it's mostly dogs, for thousands of dollars. They also have financing practices, and I'm going to the next bill, where you can finance a pet because they cost thousands of dollars, with high interest rates. So this would kind of prevent that predatory financing for these dogs.
I would assume that there are plenty of dogs and cats available at the shelters,
Absolutely.
and that would be the first place I would look. Our pet
Absolutely.
is a
Me too.
rescue, and but is there any guarantee if you buy a dog or a cat at a pet store, is there any guarantee you're really getting uh, a top breed? Are the papers that come along, are they guaranteed? How do you know for sure?
No, I think that's a really valid question. There are, you'd be shocked about how many puppy mills there are in the state of Ohio. And Humane Society has named some of the puppy mills in Ohio as some of the most egregious offenders. And a lot of the puppy mills, they're under horrific conditions. The 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 dogs that are being bred are they keep being bred, and the puppies, are sent off to the pet stores that sell them, and sometimes they just dump off the mothers at shelters. That happens quite often. And so, yeah, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of questions around um, dogs that come from puppy mills, and sometimes it's hard to know if your dog is coming from a puppy mill. But yeah, for sure, the papers may not be what they say they are. Or you also have a problem in puppy mills of inbreeding. Um, so that's a big issue as well. So that then with inbreeding comes health problems. And
Yes.
there are some lawsuits around people purchasing what they didn't know was a sick dog.
Ohio State Representative Michele Grimm. You can email her at rep43@ohiohouse.gov. I'm London Mitchell. Contact me by email through my website, londonmitchell.news. And please accept this invitation to join us next week as we continue staying in contact.
Previous installments of Staying in Contact with London Mitchell are available on the Stream 419 app, Spotify, and londonmitchell.news.